launched the company in August 2012. We're a technology company based in what they very grandly call Tech City, or Shoreditch to you and I. And our customers are TV broadcasters and TV production companies. We provide technology that enables millions of consumers, viewers sat at home, to interact live with TV shows. So I used to work at an organisation called BT Agile Media. I helped set BT Agile Media up in 2003 while I was working with BT. And we developed the technology in BT to enable people to vote on things like the X Factor and to interact with comic relief, enter competitions, that sort of thing. So we'd done it for telephony. And while we're in BT, we wanted to do exactly the same for applications. We saw lots more people using smartphones, buying tablets and interacting with TV shows in that way. And we thought there was a great opportunity to create a platform that enabled reliable, very, very highly scaled and compliant interactivity for broadcasters. BT turned the idea down, so we decided to leave the organisation, raise private finance and do it ourselves. Well, I'd carried out a number of different initiatives while I was at BT. So I tended to work on the business development side, so coming up with business plans and new ideas to either create new units in BT or business innovation. So that I was fairly familiar with that. When it was clear that BT weren't going to support this particular idea, then it was quite a simple move for us to move outside, because we saw the opportunity and we saw that there was a real need. One thing that we were fairly clear on is that customers, our broadcasters, people we were working with, needed this type of technology. So we had some reassurance that we were onto the right track and doing the right thing. We left BT at the end of June last year. We spoke to a number of different private financiers in the UK, people who understood the business that we were in, and also some people who were from outside of our industry but interested in backing startups. The key thing for us was that we wanted to find somebody who was in it for the long term, so we weren't looking for short-term finance, but someone who would back the full business plan and had deep pockets, who could provide the cash that we needed to take us all the way through to profitability, so we could develop the product and recruit the team that we needed to deliver. We are currently in the process of getting our first client, so we're unfortunately I can't speak too freely about that because we're under non-disclosure with a few organisations, but we're in the process of getting our first client and launching our first services. The key thing we wanted to do is move away from a project by project way of working that's very common in our industry. People will have a TV show, they'll come up with an idea about how people can interact with that show, and then a project will be funded. And some bespoke technology will be developed to support that. And we've seen a real history of those projects not working at scale, of being sort of short funded and not working in the way that they should. So we wanted to move away from that to a more sustainable model where we're working on a more long-term basis with broadcasters and production companies and provide a platform that they can rely on. So it's taken a bit longer to get the first client because we're not just pitching after every project. We're going for the sort of more strategic approach that we think is the right sort of business model. Well, it's one of the challenges we've had actually is finding the right people for the team. The recruitment approach that we take is as follows. We've looked for sort of three key skill areas. Firstly, people who've either worked with or for broadcasters, so they understand the sort of pressures that broadcasters are under and the sort of requirements that they have. Secondly, experience working in TV interactivity. And thirdly, people who have experience in working with mission critical systems. So we've recruited from those sort of three pools of expertise. Who we have in the team now is Suzanne, who's our interactive production manager, who has lots of experience working with Sony and Celador and other organisations around TV interactivity. Ed Hagen, who's our platform manager, who's worked on mission critical medical data security systems, so you can't get these things wrong. Wojciech Nowak, who's our CTO, who worked with me at BT at Agile Media, who's come across he's our technical architect and our sort of lead designer. We have Andrew Jackson, who's experienced working with Endemol and the BBC. We have a development team in Krakow, and we're currently recruiting now on the operations and technical side.